Sure. So ONL Therapeutics is what you describe a university spin-out technology. So our founder, Dr. David Zaks, is a retina specialist at the University of Michigan here in Ann Arbor. In David's David's research work, he's both a clinician seeing patients and a research scientist, identified, so we're focused on what would be called back of the eyes, the retina, which is in the back of your eye, ultimately transduces light, a signal to your brain so that you see. That retina, when it's stressed or under disease, the cells of that retina get triggered, a pathway gets triggered and the death of those retinal cells. So under disease, your retinal cells are dying. And David's research understood there's a certain receptor on those retinal cells that if you can block that, you can protect those cells under stress or disease. And so ONL Therapeutics, we have a vision to help patients see the future. And we developed a drug, basically, in scientific terms, a small peptide that blocks this receptor on retinal cells. So whether your eyes are suffering the disease of glaucoma or age-related macular degeneration, our drug protects those cells so that they don't die in the presence of disease. And Federico, unlike skin cells that regenerate, you get a scratch, eventually a couple days later, your skin looks fresh again. You have a limited number of retinal cells, and when they die, you don't regenerate retinal cells. So our work is really critical to protect those cells because ultimately the number of retinal cells you have is correlative to your vision, and we want to protect patients' vision.
Right. Interesting. It's one of those cells that you're born with and that's it, right?
You're born with them, a finite amount, and in times of disease, those cells begin to cascade into death due to disease. And what we do is block their ability to cascade into that death. And so we protect them kind of like a protective coating around a cell so that it actually doesn't know it's supposed to die. And again, the more retinal cells you have, the better you see.
Right, right. That are those cells related to when you see like these black dots on the eye?
That's a great point. So some of the diseases we're working on, age-related macular degeneration, so it's a lesion, in essence, on the back of your retina. And so very much begins to show black spots in your vision. And, your brain is wired pretty smart. So if you don't have those spots in one eye, that eye becomes the dominant one to see. But eventually in these diseases, if they're not treated, you see enough spots and they need to be treated. So you're exactly right. That's one of the diseases we're treating. Another one is called glaucoma. And glaucoma is a narrowing of your field. So unlike spots that you may have to look around, in essence, glaucoma is when your vision narrows. And we try to protect those cells, again, of the retina, specifically ganglion cells, to keep them alive so that you don't quite get that narrowing effect that is typical of a glaucoma disease state.